name is Rose Morrison. I will be giving a presentation today on the musical Once Upon a Mattress for musical theater history. So let's start off with the history of the show. The writers were Mary Rogers, the daughter of Dorothy and Richard Rogers, who were both composers in the Broadway community. She got her start with this show in 1959, and we actually share a birthday, so I thought that was a fun fact. Jay Thompson and Marshall Baer were co-writers of the lyrics and the libretto, which is like the script book. And then Dean Fuller was added later when it got made into a Broadway production. Some other history is it opened in 1959 at the Phoenix Theater, and this is the original playbill, and you can see that like right here it has the Phoenix Theater like logo in the top corner. It ran for 460 performances, and it started off as a 45-minute one-act play that was produced in Bushkill, PA in the Ponoco Mountains, and it was only presented at like this camp called Camp Tenement, so I thought that was kind of interesting. And producers saw it there, and they were like, we can make this into a musical and put it on Broadway. So that's when Dean Fuller got added to the mix. So the show came out in the 60s alongside feminism, showing a very strong female character as the lead, was really a driving force for like the feminist revolution in the 60s. And two other musicals that came out during this time were Your Own Thing, which was Broadway's first rock musical, and Hair, which was a hippie, psychedelic, anti-war musical. It's had 3 movie adaptations, one in 1964, one in 1972, and then the most recent one in 2005. In the first 2 adaptations, Carol Burnett reprised her role as Winifred, but in the 3rd adaptation, she came back as Queen Agravain, which is really cool. And then Sarah Jessica Parker's revival was in 1996 at the Broadhurst Theater, and it ran for 183 performances, and she got her own cast recording. So the plot of the show. It follows the basic story of the Princess and the Pea, but there's a fun plot twist. So at the beginning, the queen has this rule that nobody in the kingdom is allowed to get married until her son gets married, but she doesn't permit her son to get married to anyone because she doesn't want to lose power over the kingdom. So she has like these tests and tricks that the girls have to pass, and none of them pass until Winifred. The king was cursed by a witch, and he has no ability to speak, so like he can't speak his mind or speak out against the queen. Lady Larkin is one of the ladies in waiting, and she just found out that her and her partner, Sir Harry, are going to have a baby. But the problem is she doesn't want to be an unwed mother in the kingdom, and she'll be exiled if she does have this baby. So they're trying to find a princess for Prince Dauntless to marry so that they can get married. Princess Winifred, she comes into the mix, and she is the new leading lady, like princess, to see if she can marry Dauntless. And the test is the pea. So they're gonna have like 20 downy mattresses and put like the little pea under it, and that's the queen's test. And then everyone lives happily ever after. So Queen Agravain is the main villain of the show. She's very mean, dishonest, and insecure. Prince Dauntless is her child. He has a very childlike air to him. He's very like dopey and silly and goofy throughout the whole show. Winifred is the most unconventional princess out there. She is silly, she's clumsy, she's loud, she is very unconventional. King Sextimus is cursed with no voice. He's also a lady chaser, and he uses his hands and arms to like pantomime most of what he's saying throughout the show. Lady Larkin is the sweet unwed mother, and Sir Harry is her love, and he's very chivalrous. He's the one who goes out and finds Princess Winifred, and he tries to save the day. The jester is the funny, clever, supporting role, and the minstrel is like the witty narrator. He sings like a lot of the plot throughout the whole show, and the wizard is the queen's minion. So the original cast has Carol Burnett. Actually, the main writer of like the original show, his daughter found Carol and said she would be perfect to play the lead, and so that's how she got the role. You can see her right here as Winifred, and then you can see Jane White as Queen Agravain in these pictures, and Will Lee as Seximus in this picture, and Robert Wheel as the wizard in this picture. So now I'm going to play about 30 seconds of the 1964 movie clip that has Carol Burnett starring as Winifred. So that was one of her solos called The Swamps of Home, where she talks about the place where she came from is a very gross, swampy, muddy area. That's where her kingdom is. No. Okay. And then, contrastingly, we have her in the 2005 movie clip as Queen Agravain.
Sensitivity, sensitivity, I'm just loaded with that. In this one word is the epitome of the aristocrat. Sensitive soul and sensitive stomach, sensitive hands and feet. This is the blessing, also the curse of being the true elite.
So this is the number where Queen Agravain and the wizard come up with the plan to like do the pee under all the mastresses as a test of sensitivity. And then briefly on some of the design elements. So William and Jean Eckhart, husband and wife duo, are responsible for the scenic design seen in by the New York audiences during the 1959 run of the show. They actually have a book written by Andrew Harris that encompasses all the things they did on Broadway throughout their careers, which is really interesting. And then the costumes mainly consisted of large headpieces, medieval gowns, knights in shining armor, and the back wall had this big castle that Winifred climbed over as her entrance. She climbs over the castle wall. So, yeah, that's the stage. And yeah, thank you.